Let me show you what we make for our plant-based holiday feast. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we are going to talk about the holiday meal. So the holidays are coming on us really quick here, and we are going to try to prepare you to have some plant-based options for that meal. Whether you're going full out like this spread for the whole meal, or you just have, maybe you're the only plant-based person, or maybe a relative in your family is a plant-based person, and you want to have something available for them to eat. Or if you're going to a potluck or someone else's house for Thanksgiving or the holidays, you want to make sure you have something to eat. So of course you always talk to the person first to make sure it's okay if you bring an extra, a dish for the meal, but then you will have something to eat for sure. And I know from personal experience, my family is not plant-based. My immediate family is plant-based, but my extended family is not. So usually there's not a whole lot there that I can eat. And I want to share in the festivities too. And I want to eat a big meal too. So I always try to bring something that I know I can eat. And I think it would be really nice for a family member, even if they aren't plant-based, to at least have one thing there so that if someone does show up and they are plant-based or they have food restrictions, they'll have something to eat. All right, so without further ado, let's hop into what we have on our table today. So we're going to start with our roasted cauliflower. This is, of course, the centerpiece, and that will be replacement for the main, or typically the turkey. And it smells just like it. It's the same seasonings, beautiful. We're just going to cut up a little slice here. Super easy to make. It takes about an hour overall to make it, which, if you've ever made a turkey before, it takes forever. But this is so much simpler and, of course, really nice and healthy. And it has full of flavor, and it's very filling. All right. So next we have, of course, the mashed potatoes and the gravy, which happen to be my favorite thing on the holiday meal. So this is just regular mashed potatoes and gravy that are plant-based, of course. And then we have our mushroom gravy to go with it. And that is super creamy and delicious. And for this main, I'll talk about the cauliflower again. If you want an alternative to that, we also have a beautiful mushroom Wellington that would be a showstopper for sure, and it is super delicious. That would be another option for that. For our mashed potatoes and gravy, we've got several different options for you on our website, and we will have a full playlist of all of these things and more on our website so that you can kind of pick and choose what you want to have on your holiday meal. But we have things like sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, Brussels sprouts casserole. Now we are on to our baked mac and cheese, and this is a sweet potato baked mac and cheese, which is really creamy and delicious. But we also have our regular mac and cheese that you could make in this way with this crumbly topping on the top or without. And we also have sweet potato gratin, a creamy vegetable casserole, and a kale potato bake. And they would all be really wonderful alternatives for any kind of side for this holiday meal. So I'm going to get a nice scoop of that. Ooh, look at that creamy deliciousness. Okay, now on to the bread. So there's always some kind of bread or dinner rolls on a holiday feast table. So right here we have our lentil rolls that are super easy to make also and loaded with nutrition. They are super delicious. But as far as alternatives for the bread, we also have a gluten-free bread, a peanut butter bread if you saw just one of our latest shows, an apple spice bread, and our buckwheat bread, which would be delicious with this meal. And last but not least, I'm going to move my rolls here, we have the chocolate pie. So this was my favorite dessert. My grandma always made a chocolate pie, along with other things like the pumpkin pie and cherry pie we always had. So we also have alternatives for that to cover any pie needs. So like I said, we have our pumpkin pie, our sweet potato pie, an apple pie, cherry pie, and if you saw our last week's episode, it is a pecan pie cheesecake. It is amazing and delicious, and I don't think anyone would complain if they got a piece of that one. So I'm going to serve up some piece of pie. So yummy. We've had this many, many times, and it is definitely delicious. See if I can get this first piece out of here without mangling it too bad. There we go. All right, and a lot of the ingredients that we use today are from our partner, Essential Organics, who have over 600 organic products. And if you want to check them out, you can use the code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout for 10% off of your order. Now this meal, you might think, oh, it's going to take forever to make, but all of our recipes are super simple and easy. This spread right here, I made the pie and the rolls yesterday, so they were already done and they're fine to be in the fridge for up to 2 days before your meal. I just waited to frost this until I was ready to put it out. And then today we made our mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes and gravy, and the cauliflower roast. And I think it only took about just a little over an hour to make. So it's really not a big deal. It's not going to take you a ton of time, but you're going to have plenty of food and plenty of options for a delicious plant-based meal. All right, so last but not least, we need to go for a taste, right? So I'm going to go with the dessert first because that's my favorite. I would probably eat that first, even at the actual meal. So I hope this helps, and I hope it gives you some ideas on what to have for your holiday meal and to help out anybody else that's plant-based that's coming to your holiday meal. And come on back next week for another great recipe.